All right, it's 10 o'clock, and so we will get started. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for our Kentucky Innovation Hub quarterly update presented by both KSTC and Kentucky Innovation. I'm Lisa Bajornis, Executive Director of the Innovation Hubs with KSTC, and we're a private nonprofit that steers programs to advance science, technology, and innovative economic development. And of course, together with the Cabinet for Economic Development's Kentucky Innovation, we support our innovation hubs and their regional partners. So this is the fourth this year in our series of webinar updates, and it gives us the opportunity to share with you the progress, the impact, and the results of the work of our 6 innovation hubs around the state, along with their regional partners. It also allows us to keep you informed, up to date, and with transparency about the state of startups at both a high level and within each entrepreneurial region. And the entrepreneurial work by the innovation hubs and their regional entrepreneurial support organizations directly with startup clients really, truly matters. These regional groups offer both startup coaching services as well as curated connections to a broad array of startup resources that help our founders grow their businesses. And importantly, the hubs assist and track startups advancing their businesses through access to capital, customers, mentors, and other resources. And these are all needed to create community, a vibrant community that underpins Kentucky's economic growth. So with that, I want to go ahead and get started, and I'll take just a moment to share some of the headlines of the past quarter. But to start, we'd like to welcome Blue North's most recent new partner, the Incubator Kitchen Collaborative. And since 2013, they have helped launch over 170 food startup businesses from their kitchens, which can tremendously change the trajectory of those founders' lives and their families' lives. So we welcome Incubator Kitchen. We join the National Venture Capital Association in congratulating the passage of the CHIPS and Science Act of 2022, which will expand and enhance America's innovative startup ecosystem. You and I all know this, and it's become known as the CHIPS and Science Bill, and it could become the largest research, technology commercialization, and production bill in at least a generation. I do want to take a moment and thank Humana and their facilities team for their generous donation of office furniture, including desks, chairs, conference tables, monitors, screens, you name it, specifically offered to startup communities, schools, and nonprofits as they have redone their various facilities. Many of our innovation hubs took advantage of this opportunity, and specifically in our SOAR region, for so many that suffered the devastation from recent flooding, they've had the ability to take advantage of those resources. Huge congratulations to Render Capital on the raising of their second fund to invest in early stage businesses. They now have close to $30 million under management in order to make those investments in seed stage startups with innovative solutions, really experienced teams, and those that are going after big problems and large markets. On our startup client side, congratulations to Julia Reagan, founder and CEO of RX Lightning. She was recently selected to Endeavor Midwest. And this is notable because Julia is the first female founder selected to this regional program. So we wish her well as they help connect her to global mentors, money, and markets. Behavior is one of 43 companies nationwide that made it on Parity Organization's 2022 list of the best companies for women to advance. This is also known as the Parity List, and Parity is a nonprofit organization working to eliminate the racial and gender gap in corporate leadership. So congratulations to Behavior. Express Run was selected to Google for Startups Accelerator for Black founders in their class of 2022. And Google will connect these founders to their programs, products, and technology. There were hundreds of applicants, and Express Run is one of 12 that were selected from across all of North America to participate in that accelerator. And they were also accepted into Techstars Chicago. So congratulations to Sada Wang. In this last quarter, we saw 4 early stage companies with exits: Resolve, formerly known as Moxie Girl, Podchaser, SKU Vault, and Lexington-based Helpware. All of these were undisclosed amounts, but we congratulate them on those exits and returns to their shareholders. The hubs and I track deal flow in Kentucky, which means the number of startups that receive funding and the total amount invested in them. And for this last quarter, and with a significant increase in investment activity over our prior quarter, we have 21 startups that were funded in this last quarter with over $65 million in early stage investment here in Kentucky. And I want to especially call out App Harvest, who landed $50 million to support the development of their high-tech indoor farms. And that funding is in the form of 2 loans guaranteed by the USDA and the Greater Commercial Lending. And founder Jonathan Webb has said that he expects these new farms will accelerate their company's sales growth, allow them to become financially self-sustainable, and then attract further investment. In Hub News, I am excited to share that our Create team has recently moved their Elizabethtown office into the new Center for Kentucky Entrepreneurship, also known as COKE, and that will house all things entrepreneurial in Hardin County, along with their partners, Kentucky PTAC, the Elizabethtown SBDC, and the Kentucky Veterans Business Alliance. You know, Kentucky's entire ecosystem is so fortunate to have quite a few accelerators and boot camp programs that kicked off this past fall, including Launch Blue, Launch It, Aviatrez Explore program, the Vote Awards, Accelerate Health, the Awesome Fellowship, Sprocket's Codify Boot Camp, and new in the Blue North region, the Disabled American Veterans Patriot Boot Camp. The SOAR team put on another very successful SOAR Summit regional event in Pikeville. I know you'll hear a little bit about that later. They were very much focused on equitable access to broadband to help business growth. And congratulations to the Louisville region supported by Amplify. You'll also hear about this, orchestrating another great and successful startup week. And finally, kudos to the Grow West team on several startups they're working with as they are attracting and helping them to move their businesses to Kentucky. That's a little snapshot of some of this past quarter's highlights. And now it's my pleasure to turn our webinar over to Monique Quarterman. She's Executive Director of Kentucky Innovation for the latest cabinet news. Monique?
Thank you so much for your introduction, Lisa, and so excited to hear about all of this wonderful investment happening across the state of Kentucky. Welcome to the call. I'm so excited to talk a little bit more about the first quarter of our fiscal year 23, but really it has to be led by the wonderful activities and engagement that our the Kentucky Innovation Hubs and its partners have been making across the Commonwealth. Let me tell you a little bit about what makes me so excited to get to do the work that I do alongside such wonderful partners and staff. Looking first to Eastern Kentucky. As we all know, Eastern Kentucky over the summer suffered a flooding disaster, and SOAR was first in line to get together with other ESOs and support and work together as a community to create a relief resource document that has been complemented even by our federal government It has been really cool to see how they have aligned community for support for not only government in the form of federal and state support, but also that community level. It's so important. They just completed their annual SOAR Summit last week in Pikeville. And so I'm so proud of them for being so resilient and continuing to press on even in hardship. I also have to recognize, bouncing over to Louisville market, that Louisville won a manufacturing extension partnership, further advancing education's partnership with industry to advance manufacturing in our state. That is so important, especially as Kentucky rides the crest of achievement in the manufacturing, specifically in automotive manufacturing space. So we are excited by that. The MI2 partnership, which includes a lot of our colleges and universities, had its first convening in Q1 of the fiscal year. It was wonderful to see all of Kentucky's top manufacturers in a room together on Western Kentucky University's campus, all there for the same purpose, to innovate. It really proves the sort of difference and change that we're making in our community and the benefit that we're going to receive from it in the future of our Commonwealth. The United States Small Business Administration awarded Kentucky $400,000 to continue to export from small businesses, employee size 500 or less. Our federal government is recognizing all of the wonderful advancements that we're doing. And so Kentucky Innovation is so proud to make that $400,000 in grants available to help more Kentuckians send their awesome products all over the world. Northern Kentucky University, I'm looking at you, NKU, in the Blue North footprint, just made global headlines for being named one of the top 100 most innovative universities by WURI. I look to the impact of Blue North, Kentucky Commercialization Ventures, and all of the partners in between for helping NKU reach that wonderful achievement. And we're looking forward to more. University of Kentucky and UK Innovate got named a Mid-South I-Core hub in partnership with several Mid-South universities, including University of Louisville. Having an official I-Core hub added to Kentucky just creates more opportunities for translation and technology in our state. So we are excited about that. KSTC won a Continuation FAST Award for Small Business Innovation Research. KCV completed its statewide roadshow, its inaugural statewide roadshow of its regional and rural colleges and universities in its footprint. And tonight I'll be in Lexington with Awesome Inc. judging 5 Across. Why do I run off all of these wins in Q1, right? It's because I want each and every one of you, as you hear the impact on the minute level from our Kentucky Innovation Hubs on this call, you recognize that it's building up to something greater for our state. And what we want to see over the next 5 years, over the next 10 years in Kentucky, is that all of these wins continue to build up and Kentucky become one of the top states, if not the top state in the United States for building an innovative business and bringing economic development to our communities that are so deserving to be able to build innovative business right where they are. How do I know this? Well, I look over to CNBC. CNBC in this quarter just reported in their top states for doing business report that Kentucky moved up 15 spots from 2021 to 2022. If we're making that kind of movement and the world is taking notice, imagine what we can do next if we hold fast and keep on doing the great work we're doing across the Commonwealth. So with that, I won't hold us up any longer. I want to hear about these awesome hubs and their impact in community. Just thank you all so much, everyone joining us, for your support to the Kentucky Innovation Hubs. They are changing the state as we know it. Thank you so much, Lisa. I'll turn it back over to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Monique, and very exciting news all around. All right, here is our ever popular Kentucky Innovation Hubs map. Where we go. And so today we are going to take the order of going clockwise, starting from our northernmost region, and we'll move around, starting with Blue North, based out of Covington, our SOAR region, based out of both Pikeville and Ashland. Awesome, of course, in Lexington. Create represents our central region. with Bowling Green, Elizabethtown, and Owensboro. Grow West over there representing the western part of our state in Paducah and Madisonville, and then we'll round it out with Amplify representing the Louisville region. So very quickly, our rundown, our new hubs, our hubs represented by a number of new folks on their teams will share the progress for the first quarter of this fiscal year. I want to emphasize that we're reporting on the first quarter of the fiscal year 22-23 against their full 12-month goals that they have set for their particular regions. So these are the 9 various different results that they'll talk about after a great fun startup win highlight, and then they'll move quickly on to an event highlight from last quarter. And then for your information, they'll talk very briefly about a new strategic initiative for this coming quarter. So they each have 5 minutes to move through that information quickly and give you a great snapshot of what's happening in each of their regions. All right. So kicking us off, representing our northern region and the partners there, Northern Kentucky University, Aviatra Accelerators, and the new Incubator Kitchen Collaborative, I am joined by Jessica Wirt, Program Director with Blue North.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I am the Program Director at Blue North, and I'm excited to share a success story to start off our little yeah, there we go. Okay, so Better Blend is a smoothie shop that started in Florence, Kentucky. So they only had 1 location in Florence, Kentucky, but then they quickly grew to 4 locations in the greater Cincinnati area. And they just released that they are now franchising. And we are so happy for them. So Blue North has been working with Isaac, the entrepreneur, the CEO of Better Blend, to go in this transition into franchising Better Blend. So we are so excited about this success story and how we've helped them grow from that. And last week, they actually just launched their Fort Mitchell location, which is so exciting to see that kind of going in fruition. So next, I'm going to go with our key results. So for our startup SIRS, our goal for FY 2022 and 2023 is 420 startups, and we are currently at 148. And then for our startups referred, our goal is 360. And we are currently at 106. And for Startups Advanced, our goal is 40, but we've already surpassed that with 42, thanks to our incubator program at Northern Kentucky University. They have a lot of startups advancing during their incubator, which is a really great program. And then for new jobs created, our goal is 50, and we are currently at 7, but we have plans to go ahead and get that metric up. And then moving on, we have our events hosted. Our goal is 30, and we're already getting close to that with 26. And then our goal of 750 attendees, we are currently at 400. And then for startups funded, our goal is 20, and then we're currently at 8. And then startup investment, our goal is 20 million, and we're currently halfway through that with $11 million. And then for a Q1 event that I want to highlight is our Ask an Accountant. So this was a really fun event that we asked Ryan Watson to come in and speak about accounting, kind of saying like the do's and don'ts with startups and accounting. And then we opened the floor to startups to ask any questions that they have with accounting and their businesses. So this was a really great resource because a lot of startups can't afford an accountant right off the bat. So they got some advice without having to pay for that. And then we also are going to have something similar to this next month is going to be our Ask Our PR agency with Scooter Media. So we're very excited about that. And then to highlight an initiative that we are currently doing for this quarter is our DAV Patriot Bootcamp. So their first one just recently wrapped up, and they had over 50 attendees come to Erlanger, Kentucky to participate in this. So we're very excited because Blue North was able to connect 17 mentors to this program. And Dave Knox, our executive director, was actually able to be a mentor as well as speak about funding and how to get your startup funded right off the bat. So this is an initiative and program that we are going to continue to do in the future, and we're so excited to partner with them. And that's all.
Great. Thank you so much, Jessica. And it was my pleasure to attend the reception for that cohort of attendees that participated in their Patriot Bootcamp. And what a great talent attraction opportunity that is. All right. Representing our Eastern Appalachian region, we have Sabrina McWhorter, who is Manager, Business and Innovation for SOAR. Sabrina?
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Lisa. As Lisa mentioned, I'm the Manager of Business and Innovation for SOAR and our SOAR Innovation team. If you could go to the next slide, please. Oh, well, it's gone. Well, we're a team of 3 and we cover the 54 ARC mandated counties. That's okay, no worries. So this morning, I'd like to share with you a little bit of a story about the Pine Mountain General Store. So this business is located in Eola, Kentucky on Pine Mountain, which is a breathtaking mountaintop. And the owners, Tiffany and Ernie Scott, continue to be a staple in their community as they find ways offering play, stay, and dining options. So recently, our innovation team provided them with a one-page website and an e-commerce page, and they're already seeing a huge impact. Kristen Norman on our team is our digital strategy coordinator, and she worked closely with them to customize their website to fit their needs. Since the creation of their website and their selfless care that they've provided to the community over the summer during the devastating floods, we're very excited and very optimistic to announce that they have now expanded to a second location, and they just last week received $1,000 at the SOAR Summit in Pikeville for our Innovation Award. You want to make a trip there to see them and enjoy their down home country cooking, and then also shop all of their Kentucky proud and local staples where they provide a platform for all Appalachian artists. So moving on to our key results, you can see that at the top is the yearly goal. So startups served, we're already at 89 startups served for the first quarter of July, September, and October, or I'm sorry, July, August, and September. Referrals, we've already completed 10 referrals for startups advanced. We've had 4 startups advanced, 2 new businesses created, and 9 jobs created. Next slide, please. We've already hosted 3 events. This is not including, and I guess you'll have to be here next month because this is not including our SOAR Summit that we just wrapped up last week. So that's 3 events hosted with over 810 attendees already. So we're definitely going to blow that one out of the water once that comes in. And then 1 startup funded with $50,000 invested. Now, I do want to add that not included on this slide is 3 more companies exceeding over $51 million in investment. Next slide, please. So this is our SOAR Healthcare Career Fair, and we held this last quarter with huge success. Over 11 schools represented, 690 plus students in attendance, and this event was excellent to link future entrepreneurs to their needed resources to choose their future pathways, as well as expose them to many career options. And we loved being able to host so many bright students and really offer them options for their future. Next slide, please. And then finally, SOAR has created the Eastern Kentucky Remote Guide to help us connect with those outside of our region. We all know that Kentucky has amazing options for businesses to grow their business, to raise their families. So we're really working to connect with those outside of the region to lure them here in a good way. We've already had a really great conversation with an incredible business out of California who's actually planning a trip here. So that's really exciting. It happens a lot quicker than we anticipated. So they should be coming over in the next few months, hopefully before all the leaves fall off the tree, so they can see all the beauty that Kentucky has to offer and hopefully move their business here. So that is it from us. Thank you so much, Lisa, and thank you, Monique.
Thank you, Sabrina. And so nice to hear that we've got yet another startup attraction opportunity in the works. So we will stay in touch with you and continue to support you in that endeavor. All right, now representing our Lexington region and along with their partners UK Innovate and base here, we have Garrett Farbach, who is Program Manager, Education Outreach, and oversees Team Alpha, those great interns with Awesome Inc. Garrett?
Yeah, thanks again, Lisa. Just FYI, if my computer lags, we've had a lot of Wi-Fi issues here today, so I'll keep going. Well, our startup one is an excellent one. We have some good news from one of the Awesome Inc. Fellowship alum that was formerly the job winner, now Scott Stuckey of Inquiry Technologies. And his software, as you can see the one below, helps people for employment, including second chance employment, which is very prevalent here in the Lexington community. So we're very grateful to see this win from their team. I know they've worked with UK OTC in the past as well. And then Scott actually moved their company's headquarters from London, Kentucky to Lexington. So we're excited to see that the patent is going through, and that's, again, our programming and our partners programming have been helpful to see at least one entrepreneur in this vein make a step forward. So again, really excited for Scott Stuckey and his team and their patent going forward with their software. And the next slide, please. And then here is the Q1 year 5 key metrics updates. So we've had at Awesome Inc. an awesome couple months. August was something I'll foreshadow that we had an epic startup summer retreat that was a really cool momentum to head into this fiscal year for this grant for a lot of our startups coming across the state, a lot of Louisville, Lexington, Northern Kentucky companies, just a lot of great networking and for people to take a load off for a weekend. And then our partners based here have had tremendous events, tremendous attendance supporting the entrepreneurial ecosystem, and UK OTC and LaunchBlue and UK Excel, all their programming had a phenomenal month in September, and they were a driving force for a lot of the startups that have been served and for a lot of the startup investment that we've had. So grateful for our partners and doing phenomenal jobs with serving our community and really being present for entrepreneurs. So next slide, please. Thanks so much. And I mentioned it a minute ago, but this was the event we wanted to highlight for this this past quarter. So August 6th, I believe that was the correct date, we had over 60 entrepreneurs, investors, community members come across Kentucky that we went to. Actually, one of the Kentucky Entrepreneur Hall of Famers, they sponsored and built a really cool retreat center in Barefoot, Kentucky. Keith McMunn's actually dancing next to me, so hey, Keith. And we had just an awesome time to see a lot of entrepreneurs come out, get poured into by some of our best friends, Elizabeth Brownsball and Steve Huey, who led some really great mentor sessions. And in this picture below, we got to pull up Jose Gastonbide of Good Maps, who got to talk about raising around, what that looked like. And it was just cool to see a room of entrepreneurs dialed in on a Saturday, took time off from their families, away from maybe their normal routine to get poured into. And we just had a ton of fun. So we're just grateful that we have thriving entrepreneurs and a thriving community across our state, just allowing people to A, come together, B, get poured into, and C, also know how to have a good time. So grateful for that event and just the way that it led people to get filled up heading into the last part of the year. And then for the last slide, I'll talk about our unique initiative going on in Lexington. Thanks so much. And this is, again, I want to shout out to the UK team with all that they're doing. Here, we want to talk about the LaunchBlue spring cohort that's coming up. You can see details on the screen. Applications open up pretty quickly in the next week and then close early December. And there'll be an info session. But really, the main benefit of this is that we are having an entryway as a pipeline funnel or a startup funnel that just allows earlier stage companies to get access, to grow, to get help in this pre-seed accelerator program, again, from Kentucky and surrounding states. So we're grateful for that, and just to be another opportunity for both investment, but also mentorship. That's something that we've seen very valuable. So thanks to our UK team and all that they're doing to support startups. And that's it for me. Thanks, Lisa. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks so much, Garrett. And of course, we wish you much success on your big, awesome fellowship day today. And we will hopefully see everybody tonight at 5 o'clock. So thank you, Garrett. All right, moving our way around the state, we're going to come down to our central region, and representing Bowling Green, Elizabethtown, and Owensboro, along with their partners from Western Kentucky University, we have Buddy Steen, who is program director with Create. Buddy? You're muted.
Okay, there you go. Just a reminder, the CREATE group, the Central Region Ecosystem for Arts, Technology, and Entrepreneurship, is the core economic development group under the Innovation Campus at WKU. And Innovation Campus is, functions, its headquarters inside of 285,000 square foot facility that we're leveraging for economic development. So it's a very nice asset there. The startup win for us is Kentucky Thermal Institute. This is a group, this is a for-profit company that started out in our business accelerator, 75,000 square foot accelerator, but they had 300 square feet. They grew to 600 square feet just recently to 1,200 square feet. They're looking at space that's 3 times larger than that, doing fantastic work in thermology, across the state, well, actually across the country. And we had Ag Commissioner Quarles here this quarter for their grand opening, and we're quite proud of them. Next. Yep, our metrics. I did the 6-month reported number for the quarter and then our 6-month goal. So we had 135 startups that we served this time. Our goal was 75. We had 25 referrals with a goal of 25. We advanced 5 of those startups, and our goal was 1.5 per quarter. The number of events hosted was 9. Our goal was 3. Event attendees this quarter was 247, and our goal this quarter was 125. Startups funded was 5. Goal 1.5. The amount invested in those startups was 163K. That's reported by our clients with a goal of about 264K, but that does not include 2 of our tenants here at the Innovation Campus at WKU, which would add actually 12 jobs and $20,485,000 in investment into our ecosystem. So we're really, really happy about that. Number of jobs reportable here is 22, and our goal was 25. Next, please. Yeah, we had some really fantastic folks. Jeremy Jacobs presented at our startup garden. If just for your all's knowledge, Jeremy is one of our, he was a startup that started here in our program, and he's grew his company up, actually exited that company this year for 8-figure kind of exit. Took that wealth and created a new company, Lobby Fox, and so we're really proud of him. He presented in Startup Garden and did a fantastic job. Okay, and then our Summit of the South is coming. We're November 17th. Really happy about this event. This is an all-day event. We've got Bobby Crabtree coming as a guest speaker, just a stellar, entrepreneur with a national, international reach in her business, and Kevin Shern, who literally was the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year in 2013. We're so proud to have those folks here, and we invite everybody starting at 9 a.m. Central Time. Everything is free. There's multiple things going on at different times, so we'd welcome you here to the Innovation Campus at WKU for that.
All right. Thank you so much, buddy. And, I love the fact that Jeremy exits in a big way his former company, and then he's back in again and continues to support the Create region. So great opportunity to have gotten to meet him. And we all look forward to Summit of the South coming up in mid-November. Thanks, buddy. All right. Representing the western side of our region, we welcome Kobe Gillespie, who's community manager with Grow West. And of course, their partners are Sprocket, Murray State, and the Kentucky Innovation Station. Kobe?
Thanks, Lisa. I'll start by hitting on some startup success. In September, part of our first 50K program, which aims at being able to relocate companies into Western Kentucky, and a part of that, they get $50,000 in non-dilutive funding. So one of those companies being Feed Coyote was one of our winners this year. Stevens has created a freelance business collaboration platform. So it has built-in project management tools. The goal of his platform is to connect freelancers so they can subcontract out gigs to maximize revenue and profits amongst themselves. So Stevens moves into our space in September, and he immediately got to work on a platform redesign and was able to relaunch that at the end of September. So that's live. So definitely check out that platform and be thinking about it when you're speaking to your freelancers and your network. Next slide, please. So I won't run through every key result, but by looking at these, we're on track to meeting most of our goals, if not already exceeding some of those. So specifically the startups advanced, we well surpassed our yearly goal this quarter. And that's in large part due to our incubator program, which I'll hit on a little bit later. So that's hitting a large part of that. number. We're also really excited about our startups funded and the amount invested in startups. So being on track to hit that goal is really big for us, and driving that into our community, keep those businesses staying in Paducah. Next slide, please. So yeah, our big event of the last quarter was Tech Fest. We held it in July. Tech Fest's goal was to build community and connectivity in our community amongst entrepreneurs, community leaders, local officials. So it really served as a way to highlight a lot of the stuff that we did in our past year. So we spoke about the Adult Code Labs program. We had a graduate come up on stage and speak to his experience with the program, how the program had set himself up for success. He actually was able to gain full-time employment as a developer following the completion of the program. We also had Rakesh from Kubricks. He was a 2021 First 50K winner. He just spoke about how the community ingratiated him and really made him feel welcomed, and how that really was able to uplift him and grow his business. And then as well, we had Steven's Top Right. We had 2020 finalists that were going to be doing the First 50K pitch day the following day. So they were there to speak to guests on their products, their platforms, and even give live demos. So it was a really great event. We look forward to hopefully being able to do it again this next year. And then, so yeah, I mentioned our incubator program. So this is a 12-week online program. So we take, we're trying to appeal to industry problem solvers in our local community. So they come to us with an idea, something that they think will make their job easier, or make another aspect of a job easier, and we paired them with developers to create a tech solution. So part of that is having weekly meetings with Codify and the developers there, and we're also helping them build a lean business model. So we're hoping to be able to do this program again in January, and that's our plan.
Great.
And
Thanks
that's all
so
I got
much,
for you.
Toby. Yeah,
Yes,
appreciate
ma'am.
it.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks for your highlights. And then finally bringing us around to the top of the state, representing our Louisville region, we have Kiana Baker, who is Director of Community Engagement with Amplify Louisville, and of course, their partner, University of Louisville. Hi, Kiana.
Hi, good morning, everyone. All right, so first we're gonna start with the startup wins. And Lisa mentioned one of our startup wins earlier. Express Run was a part of 12 companies selected into Techstars Chicago's latest Advancing Cities Fund, as well as Google Black Founders Accelerator. And just to throw something new in there, since we heard about them earlier, Kidvestors, which Amplify is a sponsor of Ideathon, and Kidvestors won Ideathon, but they were also a part of Google's Black Founders Exchange in Durham recently. So shout out to them. And then Louisville-based Forecaster raised $1 million in annual recurring revenue, which is exciting because we helped them with their first customers. And then with Express Run, our entrepreneur in residence, Kella, was one of their coaches and connected them. So that's how we made the connection there. Next slide. Okay, and then our key results, startups served 284, and our 3-month goal was 123. Startups referred, so making connections to resources internally, externally, we did 154. Our goal was 84, and then startups advanced 8, and our goal was 4. And then businesses created, we had 1. Our goal was 5, but that's okay. Next slide. For events, we hosted 13 events between July and September. Event participants, we had 790 participants now. Just to be very clear here, this also includes Startup Week, which was about 400 of the 790. And then we had startups funded, which is 22. Our goal was 8. And then we had about over $13 million invested for the 3 months. Our event highlight is Startup Week Louisville. This year was a lot of fun. If you got to attend, I would love to hear what your experience was. If you did not, I hope you get to attend next year. But there were 450 people in attendance throughout 14 states, 46 cities. 15 of those cities were Kentucky cities. And then it was a very diverse audience as well as speakers. And there were 105 speakers throughout the 4 days. It was a great time. They did a great job. The speakers were great, very notable speakers this year, and some new faces that we don't typically hear speak, but they spoke this year, and it was a great, great time. And then we're gonna round it out with a unique initiative. So last year and previous years, this was called Reunion, but Reunion has now rebranded as Founder Forward. So this is a program that helps Black, Latinx, and Indigenous founders to help create wealth and equity in the founder community. So these founders will receive unrestricted capital grants, and they'll be able to use them to help with scaling up their companies. It's a 6-month program this year. Last year it was 10 weeks. We've raised about $60K for them. There are 4 founders. It has not been announced yet, but I will go ahead and let you all know who they are because it will be happening very soon. But we have Kentucky Greens Company, Dues 24, Pep Rally, and Bright Trace this year. And they will receive mentoring from myself, Kella, as well as a plethora of other partners and subject matter experts throughout the 6 months, as well as some workshops and programming. And then we are in partnership with a national resource through Involve, who they are kind of like the parents of Founder Forward. And if anyone is interested in volunteering, which it's a very small commitment, it's on your own time, but being able to have more subject matter experts for these founders, it does not matter what your location is. I will drop the link for you to sign up or just to pass it along on your socials in the chat afterward.
Great. Thank you so much, Kiana. Appreciate your update.
Thank you.
And as we round out this quarter's update for everyone, first of all, thank you to all of our hubs for A, the work that you're doing, and B, sharing all of your progress to date. As I mentioned, this is the first quarter of the fiscal year 22-23. So lots of work ahead of us, but a good start to this fiscal year. And of course, sharing the impact that you're having on our statewide startup ecosystem. Our next quarterly update will be planned for January 2023, and we'll cover the last 3 months of the year, October, November, December's results. And then, of course, next month, which is coming quickly, we have our monthly ESO webinar, an opportunity to share startup resources with all that attend that monthly webinar on Tuesday, November 15th at 10 Eastern Time. And we will be putting together for you all a venture capital panel as we talk about all things capital within the state of Kentucky with supporting our startup companies. And certainly you can find more information at kstc.org as well as kyinnovation.com. That wraps up stuff today. I thank everyone for attending. Thank you again to our hubs and especially to Megan Kincaid with KSTC, who's running tech there in the background. So I wish everyone a great rest of your day, and we hope to see you back with us in November and in January. Thanks so much. Bye.